It's the first day of May, and this means it's also the first day of Child Month. By now, you should all know that despite all that's happening around us due to COVID-19, Child Month 2020 is in full gear. So starting today, let's all make a concerted effort to celebrate our nation's children, lavish them with more hugs and kisses, and remind them each day that they are loved unconditionally. More Child Month tips await you right after this break.
We are children and we have rights. We have a right to be
protected,
provided for,
and included.
Don't beat me up, don't belittle me, and please don't molest me.
I am under 13. I should not be working for a living.
That is child labor. It is illegal.
Stop leaving me alone. I am too young to provide for myself. I need your guidance.
Protect our nation's children. They have rights too. To learn more about children's rights, call or visit the offices of the Child Development Agency.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. What to do if you think you have been exposed or are experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Immediately call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In addition, you should stay at home. Don't go to work, school, or any public place. Do not use public transport, and avoid visitors to your home. You may need to do this for up to 14 days to reduce the spread of the infection. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
We have online Dr. Michelle Hamilton, who is the Director for the National Lab Services. Testing has been an issue. We've heard questions asked about the delays in testing. And I think it's important for the public to understand from start to finish, in a shortened version though, how we go about testing from the collection of samples through to reaching the lab, sorting, and the actual tests and results. Dr. Hamilton, how are you?
I am very well, sir. When samples are collected at the various points, they are transported to the lab. And at the lab, there are three phases: the pre-analytical, the analytical, and the post-analytical. In the pre-analytical phase, we log the sample into our system and we prepare the sample for testing. In the analytical phase, we do the actual testing. And in the post-analytical phase, we document the results that have come from the different samples. And of course, we then disseminate them. We give them out to the relevant persons. Now, it sounds simple to say, but we have to remember that we adhere to very strict international quality standards, and so there are checks and balances in each of these phases to ensure that we give not just a result, but an accurate result. So it often involves a team of individuals working together to cross-check at various points to ensure that everything is done in such a way that when you actually get your result, you can have confidence that this is an accurate representation of what is happening with the individual patient.
There have been some complaints around the delays in testing and test results. I mean, what in your mind has contributed to that? And are we on a path now to overcome that, given that giving a sample is an experience in and of itself? Getting the results and the anxieties around the wait can be quite traumatic.
Right.
Tell us about that backlog issue and how we're solving it, if any.
We understand that once you have been tested, you very much want to see the result because you want to know, are you positive, are you negative? What has happened is that I am sure the country will be well aware that recently we had an upsurge in the number of cases, and that meant that we had to increase not only the testing of the persons who were found to be positive, but all of their contacts. So we had to do mass testing to determine who was positive and then follow up on the contacts, because of course we are trying to contain the spread of the viral infection. Now, initially when there was the surge, the number of samples that were being collected exceeded our capacity to test on any given day. And so there was a buildup of the samples awaiting testing. But recently, the Ministry of Health has, through the National Laboratory Services, launched a new platform, the COBA 6800, that has boosted the testing capacity. And therefore, we are currently now working through the backlog of samples and proceeding now to test incoming samples. So we did have a brief time when our system was getting more samples in than could be tested. But now with the COBA 6800, we have been working through the backlog of samples, and I'm informed that we currently have, less than 400 samples in the backlog. And given our capacity for testing, we expect that in short order, that will be finished. And then with the new testing capacity, we will adequately be able to cope with the level of the incoming samples.
I want to ask you two quick final questions on testing, because I think it's important. Firstly, tell us about the current test and what it aims to do, as opposed to the rapid antibody tests that we will introduce over time, and why the two. What's the distinction between the two, and why one may be more a mass test as opposed to the more targeted approach by the current one that we use?
The PCR test that we are using is a diagnostic test. So it identifies the presence of the actual virus in the individual. So if you have the infection, you will have the virus in your body, and we will be able to detect the virus using the PCR technique. That's the current technique. The antibody tests are based upon the body's reaction to the virus. So when your body is invaded by any kind of foreign material, in this case a virus, it builds up antibodies. But these antibodies take time to develop. So the antibody tests are tests that will only give us a result, a positive result, after some time. So if we want to catch the infection early, then we go for the presence of the virus itself before the antibody builds up. After we have had the virus circulating in any given population, and we want to look, for example, at how many people may have been infected by the virus, then we could proceed to look at antibody tests. But they are going to tell us that you had an infection, because what you are measuring is not the presence of the infectious agent. You are measuring the effect that it produced on the body. So it's two different approaches. If you want to contain the infection, the spread of the infection, as we are doing now, you want to catch it as early as possible and limit its spread. So you don't want to wait, the weeks that you may have to wait to get an antibody response from the body to say, yes, the infection was there. Because in that time, you would have had COVID and could possibly have been transmitting the virus to others. So we want at this time to go in quickly, find out who is infected using the PCR method, and try to stem the infection.
Thank
the
you.
spread of the infection in the population.
Thanks, Doc. And the final one is, how has your experience as head of the testing facility in the country under COVID been, both you and your staff? I mean, this is more a personal, human capacity question. I mean, what has it been like? The workload, the stress level, and
Sir?
how have you been able to manage that process?
The workload has increased tremendously because, as you would be aware, the fact that we have COVID does not mean that we don't have the other things that we would monitor routinely. So for us to utilize our staff for tests for COVID, it is an added test that we are mounting. And I would like to say that the team has risen to the occasion. We have a team of consultant microbiologists, we have medical technologists, we have laboratory technical assistants, we have everybody, the drivers who transport the sample, everybody has come together and decided to go the extra mile. So persons are working longer hours. We literally have now shifts working on a 24-hour basis, whereas most of the persons would have been working on an 8-hour basis, because we understand that the country is dependent upon us at this time to be able to give them the results that they need. So it has been a time of increased activity, and there are times when you feel the pressure of the work, but it's also been a wonderful time when it has brought out the best in that instead of running from the work, we have decided, to put our shoulders to the plow and really go for it on behalf of all of us in this nation. So it's been a difficult time in terms of pressure, but it's been a good time in terms of the overall experience.
Dr. Hamilton, I just want to take the opportunity to thank you. Thank you for this expose on air, and thank you and the team for the work that you've been doing. Very happy to hear that we're making progress in terms of the expanded testing capacity. And I think the distinction between antibody testing, rapid test kits, and testing for the virus itself is an important and useful distinction. And just to say to the country, we're moving into the antibody stage. It is a phased approach. It's not that we are late. It's just that time is just coming. Thank you very much.
That's right.
And
yes,
keep up
sir.
the good work.
Here's how we sign the alphabet.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sign with me? Hi, welcome to Daniel Williams School for the Deaf. Now we are going to show you how to communicate with us.
These are some things we may say.
No. Thank you. Goodbye. Excuse me.
Yes. Please. Hello. I'm sorry.
Wanna play? What's up? Stop. What's a Wi-Fi password?
Wait! Where's the bathroom? What's your name?
Drink, water. What's the name of your school? Where's the town?
Taxi, bus park, shop.
How to get a deaf person's attention. Don't shout at me. Don't throw anything at me. That's dangerous. You can walk beside me and touch me on my shoulder lightly, or you can wave at me. If I'm in a room, you can flicker the lights.
Maintain eye contact. Ensure you're looking directly at the person you're speaking with. Try not to let your eyes wander. Also, it's best to communicate in a room that has good lighting. If it's too dark, communication will be difficult.
Please, make sure you don't have anything in your hands when you're talking to me.
If you cannot sign, you can write, draw, show a picture, or text.
Another way you can communicate with me is by using gestures. You can use your body and your hands to speak. For example, if you don't know the sign for bus, you could use this sign. If you don't know the sign for stop, you could use this gesture.
One of the best ways to show children you care during Child Month is by bonding with them through conversation. Whether you talk to them about current issues in society such as COVID-19 or more personal stuff such as their favorite color or their future aspirations, you will witness a host of benefits. Conversation builds trust, self-esteem, and communication skills. Here's more.
Wash your hands frequently and maintain a 3 to 6 feet distance from persons.
Families across the country are adapting to the evolving changes in daily life caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Most schools, places of public gathering, and non-essential businesses are closed, and parents and other caregivers are faced with helping families adjust to the new normal. This includes trying to keep children adequately informed during the outbreak. If you want to know how you can ensure that your children are equipped with the right amount of information they need about COVID-19, follow these next steps. The first thing you have to do is make time to talk to them. Talk to your children daily about the latest news and updates, and be sure to let them know that they can come to you if and when they have questions. When talking to children, ensure that you use words and sentences that are most suitable for their age group. This is the only way to ensure that the child receives and understands the information being shared. Let your children develop the habit of watching the news with you, but ensure that the information is credible and that information overload does not occur, because this can lead to anxiety. The outbreak of the coronavirus has brought with it numerous reports of racial discrimination around the world and general misinformation. So, it's important to check that your children are neither experiencing nor contributing to bullying. Make time to clarify all rumors and discriminatory claims. Explain to children how they can stay safe during the period. Talk to them about the importance of a balanced diet, social distancing, hand washing, sanitization, and other important safety measures. Children may inevitably become worried about all the changes happening around them due to COVID-19, but it is your duty as parents to assure them that steps are being taken every day to keep them safe. Impress upon them that, rather than be worried, they should be prepared.
Sign with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sign with me.
Schools resumed distance learning last week, which means students are still to be taught in the comfort of their homes. In addition to their online classes, there are a host of e-learning platforms that are ensuring that learning continues.
As part of efforts to ensure there is no wide-scale spread of COVID-19 in Jamaica, government announced an initial 14-day closure of schools, which began on Friday, March 13. The classrooms are now empty, but learning has not been abandoned.
We will be making provisions to enable online training or continued education online.
"180 teachers have been trained to deliver lessons to students through the web-based one-on-one communication learning management system. The Education Ministry has made resources available to students from kindergarten up to grade 13. A detailed list of online digital learning resources have been compiled and shared with all schools. The ministry has also partnered with several educational providers to deliver content for students at all levels of the education system. These include Book Fusion, Learning Hub, EduFocal, and Cheetah. The online platform Book Fusion Limited exposes children to a host of free ebooks. The website allows students to read ebooks on the primary exit profile PEP, biographies, history, literature, and math, just to name a few. The Learning Hub Online is a Caribbean-based online test preparation website. It offers tests on all subjects pursued by students in grades 1 to 13. It also has hundreds of interactive PEP, G6NAT, CSEC, and CAPE test materials for each subject offered. EduFocal is another partner of the Education Ministry. The innovative social learning platform combines study with play. While students are at home, the platform is offering free virtual lessons led by PEP master teachers. Study guides, tutorial videos, questions and answers, and examinations are also offered on the site. Cheetah, or Connect to Higher Education Electronic Tools, Apps and Help, is offering free PEP workbooks to students in math, science, ability, and language arts. The small corporation also creates unique educational resources for the pre-primary and primary levels, which include tablets, apps, toys, headphones, tablet accessories, and books. Outside of these partnerships, steps are being taken to liaise with other private and public sector stakeholders.
We have been in contact with Flow, and Flow will also be making internet availability readily accessible to persons on our platform so that they can continue with their education.
The ministry is also in partnership with the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica, PBCJ, and RJR Gleaner to deliver live and recorded educational content to students at all levels of the education system. The programs will air on PBCJ Mondays to Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. with rebroadcasts on the weekends. On TVJ, it's Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to midday.
25 community channels have also been brought into play, and the children now have gotten so accustomed to that kind of interaction with their teachers and with the educational system that it's going to be challenging when we have to return to the classroom, because they're doing very, very well. We have a 70% coverage across the island, and the other 30% where we don't have access to cable and to internet services, we do it physically, manually.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
The growing number of COVID-19 cases across the island can become a bit daunting for some of us. It's for this reason that numerous helplines have been established by government for persons who are finding it difficult to cope during this time. If you or someone you know is feeling down, worried, or hopeless, contact the Ministry of Health and Wellness's newest mental health hotline at 888-NEW-LIFE. Remember, your peace of mind is your responsibility, so reach out and get the help you need today. In doing this, you are ensuring that Jamaica remains a safe place for yourself and other persons to live, work, raise families, and do business. And that's all the time we have for you today on Jamaica Magazine. Thanks so much for sticking around to learn all you need to know about our fight against COVID-19. While you go, do remember that you can re-watch today's program on our website, jis.gov.jm. Don't forget that you are able to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for the latest news and information. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.